The plumbing system in your house is fundamentally broken, forcing you to waste perfectly clean drinking water. Every day, your home takes clean water, runs it through a single shower, sends it down the drain, and then you pay for fresh water all over again just to flush your toilet. Does that make sense? Well, Hydraloop, a Dutch firm, doesn't think so. So they build a recycler about the size of a slim fridge that hooks into your existing plumbing that takes the water from your showers, baths, and washing machine, cleans it back to a certified standard, and then sends it back to your toilets, your laundry, your garden, and even your pool. If the numbers hold, a 4-person home could stop pouring around 20,000 gallons of perfectly reusable water down the drain every single year. In this video, we are going to break down exactly how this fridge-sized recycler works, and by the end, you'll know if the numbers hold up and if recycling your own water is actually worth the upfront investment. Let's dive in. The scale of the waste is hard to picture until you put a number on it. The average American uses about 82 gallons of water a day at home, and a family of 4 gets through roughly 400 gallons. Nearly 70% of that is used indoors, and the bathroom is the biggest drain on it by far. The toilet alone can account for around 27% of a home's indoor water, with showers and baths close behind. Here is the part that does not add up. Almost all of that water arrives as drinking water, purified at a treatment plant, and piped across the city at real expense. Then most of it is used once, for jobs that never needed it clean enough to drink, and flushed into the sewer. You are paying premium prices for premium water, then using it to carry waste out of a toilet bowl. That waste lands on the city as much as on your bill. Drinking water and wastewater treatment together can swallow 30 to 40% of the electricity a municipality uses. As easy groundwater runs short, utilities are pushed toward far costlier sources. Seawater desalination is the extreme case, using many times the energy of ordinary groundwater treatment to produce the same gallon. Cutting that waste at the source, inside the home, is exactly the problem Hydraloop set out to solve. The company was founded in 2015 in the Netherlands by Arthur Valkeyser and Sabine Stuver. Valkeyser built the first prototypes by trial and error in his own garage and tested them in his own house. By 2020, the system was at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, where it swept 4 awards, including Best of Innovation in Sustainability. 2 years later, it became one of 5 winners of the first World Intellectual Property Organization Global Award. The idea behind it is simple, even if the engineering is not. Greywater is the gently used water from your showers, baths, and washing machine. It is dirty, but only with soap, skin, and hair, not with toilet waste. That heavily contaminated black water runs on a separate line. Greywater is the easy stuff to clean, and there is a lot of it. The unit itself is a sealed cabinet, a little under 6.5 feet tall, and only 13 inches deep, slim enough to stand in a garage, a utility room, or a basement. Inside, the water moves through 6 treatment stages, and the clever part is what is missing. There are no filters and no membranes, which is deliberate. The old greywater systems all relied on physical screens and fine filters, and those clog with soap, scum, and hair, burn out pumps, and demand constant cleaning. Hydraloop throws that whole approach out. Instead, it cleans water the way nature does. First, gravity pulls the heavy material, the grit, and the hair down to the bottom of the tank. Light material, like body oil, floats to the top. Then a stream of fine air bubbles is pushed up through the water. Those bubbles grab onto the small suspended particles and carry them to the surface to be skimmed away, and soap and detergent are lifted off in the same way, through foam. After that comes the biological heart of the system. It is an aerated chamber where a colony of helpful microbes eats the dissolved organic gunk, the same process a natural wetland uses, just sped up and packed into a box. Finally, the clarified water passes under a high-intensity ultraviolet lamp that kills off any remaining bacteria and viruses. What comes out the other side meets the NSF ANSI 350 standard, the highest international benchmark for greywater reuse. It earns that after 26 weeks of continuous third-party testing. The water is clean and safe enough to flush your toilets, run your washing machine, water your garden, and top up a pool. The whole thing is monitored over the internet through an app, and it runs itself automatically every day. That certified quality is what sets it apart, and the cheapest alternative makes the difference obvious. You can buy a simple greywater diverter for a few $100s, but those are a far cruder fix. They mostly just strain shower water through a coarse mat and send it straight to a garden, soak away. The water is not clean to any real standard, so you cannot store it, you cannot bring it back indoors for your toilet or laundry, and the filters still need regular hands-on cleaning. The gap in quality is also a gap in trust, earned the hard way. Older greywater systems gave the whole technology a bad reputation because back in the 1970s and 80s, home setups routinely failed within 5 years. They leaned on pumps and filters that homeowners forgot to clean, so they clogged, stagnated, and got abandoned. Stored greywater that sits too long turns foul and breeds bacteria within a day. Hydraloop is built specifically to dodge those failures, because it cleans biologically with no filters to neglect. The maintenance that sank the old systems mostly disappears. And if treated water is not used within 24 hours, the unit automatically purges it to the sewer before it can stagnate. That combination of certified water quality and genuinely low upkeep is what separates it from everything that came before. Low upkeep matters more when the pressure to save water is no longer theoretical, and water-stressed regions are where it bites first. In February 2026, the Southwest Florida Water Management District declared a severe water shortage across 11 counties after a long dry spell dropped aquifers and lakes below normal. The response was immediate. Outdoor watering was cut to 1 day a week, and a mandatory 5% surcharge was added to every residential and commercial water bill in the affected area. That surcharge points to the second pressure, which is price. Water is quietly getting more expensive across the country, and many dry regions use tiered pricing, where the rate climbs steeply once your usage crosses into higher bands. A household with a big garden or a pool can sit right in those expensive top tiers. Cut your imported water by up to 45%, and you drop back into the cheaper bands, which is where the savings really start to compound. There is a third strain that never shows up on your bill in the sewer itself. Older cities run sewage and storm runoff through the same pipes, and during heavy rain, the combined flow can overwhelm the system and spill raw sewage into rivers. By recycling water on site, a home cuts the volume it sends to the sewer by nearly half. That eases the peak load the whole network has to carry. For all that promise, this technology has real ground to cover before it turns up in ordinary homes. And the biggest obstacle is the plumbing. To work, the system needs your drains split in two. Greywater from the shower and laundry has to run on one set of pipes to the unit, while black water from the toilet runs on another to the sewer. In a new build, designing that split in from the start adds only a modest premium. In an existing home, it is a different story, because retrofitting a second drainage network can mean tearing open walls and floors. That can push the cost into the range of $15,000 to $20,000. What would solve this at scale is building codes that require split drain plumbing in all new construction, so a recycler becomes a simple plug-in later. Then there is the regulation itself, which is a patchwork. The United States has no single national rule for greywater reuse, so what you are allowed to do changes from state to state. Florida permits recycled greywater for flushing toilets, but requires it to be filtered, disinfected, and even dyed. North Carolina allows indoor reuse as long as the water meets the NSF 350 standard, while California has historically been far more restrictive. Until national codes settle on one clear category for certified high-quality greywater, that confusion will keep slowing adoption. The price has to be faced honestly too. A residential unit runs somewhere around $4,000 before installation, and it draws a few hundred kilowatt hours of electricity a year to run. Whether that pays back depends almost entirely on what water costs where you live. In a cheap water region, it is a slow return. In a drought-hit area with tiered rates and surcharges, the math gets a lot more attractive, a lot faster. The economics still tilt against most homes today, but the momentum behind this is building, and the money is starting to follow. In March 2024, Hydraloop closed an $11.4 million funding round led by the Dutch state investor InvestNL. The aim was to scale up manufacturing and expand internationally. Then, in early 2025, it signed a partnership with Hansgrohe, one of the largest bathroom and sanitary fittings companies in the world. The goal there is to fold greywater recycling into mainstream plumbing rather than leaving it a niche add-on, and the partnership won an innovation award at the ISH Trade Fair in Frankfurt the same year. The real-world proof is starting to stack up alongside the deals. In Australia, the utility Sydney Water has run a pilot with Hydraloop to test how much the systems could ease demand in stressed urban areas. It is the kind of trial that moves the technology from a consumer gadget towards something utilities themselves lean on. If you are watching this in the US and wondering when you can fit one, the honest answer is that you already can, through specialist installers, as long as your plumbing and your budget allow for it. The wait is less about availability and more about the codes catching up and the price coming down as it scales. Hydraloop turns a home from something that uses every drop once and throws it away into something that uses it twice. The upfront cost is still steep, the retrofit is still involved, and the payback still leans heavily on your local water price. But with droughts deepening, water bills climbing, and the regulations slowly turning in its favour, the case for recycling your own water at home only gets stronger from here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to stay ahead of where home technology is going, subscribe to the channel.